12-story U.S. Bank Tower. The tallest building west of the Mississippi was designed to be occupied for more than 100 years. It was also built to survive the big one, an earthquake measuring at least 7.5 on the Richter scale. 1 decade after people, a lightning strike sets off a fire in the hills.
The mountain fires that we see virtually every year here in Los Angeles would penetrate into the urban setting.
The structural steel frame withstands the searing heat, but the interior spaces burn quickly, turning LA's tallest building into a charred skeleton. 50 years after people, now 200 years overdue, the big one, an earthquake measuring 8.0, hits Los Angeles. The top 21 floors have earthquake-damping struts installed between floors. But after wildfire damage and years without maintenance, they can't fend off the inevitable. Looming over the scene of desolation is the Stratosphere Tower. It is the tallest freestanding observation tower in America. But perhaps its most distinctive features are the highest amusement rides in the world, including one that dangled visitors 64 feet over the edge of the tower on a mechanical arm. Although neighboring California is notorious for earthquakes, Nevada experiences thousands of its own tremors every year.
The buildings in Las Vegas, because it's a relatively dry climate, you might think would last a long time, but actually, many of them will be shaken down.
A violent quake lashes the tower back and forth like a whip. Losing support from its base, the big observation pod hits the ground at 150 miles per hour. The entire tower smashing in a cloud of debris. The Petronas Towers. They are the world's tallest twin buildings, connected by a sky bridge that is the highest ever built. 75 years of steamy tropical heat have corroded the supports under the sky bridge. The corrosion buckles a supporting leg, turning the sky bridge into a one-way elevator. 500 years after people, the Petronas Towers may be the tallest man-made structure still standing on Earth, thanks to an extraordinary quirk in their design. In the time of humans, they were the tallest buildings in the world to be supported by a frame of concrete.
Most skyscrapers around the world are steel-framed, but Malaysia doesn't have an indigenous steel industry, so these are unique.
But 5 centuries of exposure to tropical sun and torrid humidity has weakened the super-strength cement. The collapse begins where the columns are thinnest, at the top. Cascading debris from one tower triggers the collapse of the other. In seconds, the monumental structures are reduced to dust and rubble.